So we are a few miles out of Torrey, driving towards Capitol Reef National Park. And I thought you might like to see some of the terrain here.
Oh, I wonder if we can get water for Trigger's jug at the visitors.
We have been thwarted on just about every place that was reliable water the last several days to fill Trigger's water jug. Okay, look at this straight in front of us. Little sun is trying to break out here. Incredible. I remember the first time I drove into this area, I was coming this way. I'd come up through Bryce and Zion, down through the Escalante, and I was just floored when I saw this. In fact, one thing I will say is the first time I spent a lot of time in this area, I was totally sick of the red.
I think I read that before I did that trip with you. Red just kind of gives you sensory overload. And it's real common. It's not like, it's real common for people to get it where it's just, you're just overwhelmed initially.
Capitol Reef was one of my favorite places to photograph. I was always up in the canyons. We're not going into them because Trigger can't
go, and it's the other person has to hang out.
And the hikes are a couple hours long, so it's just not really fair. We're going to sign out. We're going to go in here and see if we can get some water for Trigger's jug, and then we have a stop not in the park, and it's a shorter walk that I want to show you guys. So, all right, we have stopped here at the Petroglyph area here in Capitol Reef, and it's probably not the only petroglyphs in the park, but it's the designated area. So, and there's always a lot of people here, although I was surprised we could find parking. The visitor center was almost impossible to find parking. So the petroglyphs are up here on the wall, and I'm not so sure some of them haven't fallen away, but we'll show you some other ones. There's another walk up here. And I have an old photograph I'm going to put up that I've done here. Actually, a few of them, so we'll see those a little later. But here, let's take a look. These are pretty cool. Very interesting forms, and this is as close as I can get. And I'll try to zoom in a little more, but you can see that they have headdresses and what looks like earrings on them. Right now I don't see it, but when I show you the photograph, when you see this big rock, the white rock in front of the petroglyphs back there, this one photograph, it almost looks like a figure of a human with the petroglyphs on it, kind of like a Gulliver's Travel type thing. But then over here, I can see a sheep over here, a bighorn sheep, and some other forms. And actually right at the little notch, right in the center right now, you can see a bighorn sheep, but I'm sure that there was a lot more on the panel that in that light color that have fallen off. They're probably laying right here. And this is the wall above it. It's crazy. Okay, we're gonna walk down the trail now and show you some things. Okay, so where we were before was the main area of the petroglyph walk or area here, and then this is kind of the side area. And a little more scouting around required here to find them. And I don't think there's a lot, but there's some really cool stuff around here. Okay, so let's see what we can find. So it's probably changed, but I did a photograph of this particular spot and I'll post it here. And to me, it always looked like a bride and a groom, sort of, an abstract, obviously, but you tell me what you think. All right, so we have one of these humanoid figures. So as you can see the hands there, and I don't know if those are earrings or what, but it looks like he's got like a huge feather coming out of his hat, and then a bighorn sheep above him. All right, and then not very far away here, you can see definitely like maybe a deer, maybe a coyote, possibly a bear, that little fatter figure that looks like just two arches almost. But if you look over here to the left, to the right of him, there's another four-legged creature, very hard to see. And up at the top there, we have a circle and a line. Okay, so right here, we have some petroglyphs, I'm sorry. Oh, I was just looking, oh, wait a minute here. Let me look over here. I think that might be a petroglyph right there. Some sort of an animal, the light horizontal shape. I won't swear to it. But back to these here. So we have that vertical rectangular form with the bars straight up and down. Sometimes those are humanistic forms. I'm not really sure about that one. And then as we walk over here, we have one of those, looks like a zigzag line, and it looks like kind of a, I don't know what, an arch down and then up. Some other forms. It's pretty cool. Well, you just look around here, and so yeah, I mean, you have to kind of keep your eyes out here and look and see if you can see something. And I do. Coming up to a whole nother set right now. All right, so there's a whole bunch of stuff right here. So if we look right here, you can see the circle, and I'm seeing a form, very faint, triangular, rectangular body, and possibly even a crown up there. And then if we move over just a bit, you can see what looks like a breastplate. There may have been a figure right there in the middle of the breastplate. Actually, it looks like a little dove or something coming down, but I think we've lost part of the body of this figure here with the, I don't know if you call them horns or feathers or some kind of adornment. And then over here, you have another set. And I love these little figures. This guy in the middle. And then right over here, we have another deer or bighorn sheep or something. It's a fairly small one. And then up here, I don't know if that's a handprint. It looks like we have a humanistic figure and maybe a hand up there. So I showed you guys this panel before, and I don't know if it's because the light has changed. I pointed out this figure over here, and I think there was a bighorn sheep up above it. But over here, looks like some other figures have been etched in there. That's one of the cool things sometimes is you don't think there's any markings and then the light hits them in a certain way and you see it. I'm almost positive I'm seeing a rectangular vertical. Oh, I think I see some legs too. I'll try to point some of this stuff out in post. All right, so that was the end of the walk. But I have been looking for something that I photographed here, several years ago, and it has nothing to do with pictographs or petroglyphs. It's just this form that's very much like a face. And I'm going to look for it on the way back. And if I don't find it, I will post it here at this point. Otherwise, the next thing you'll see will probably be that form. I can't believe I'm not seeing it. But you know, things change. That's the thing. Over time, things change and you don't realize how much they've changed. until you come back and try to look for something and you can't find it and you know exactly where it is. This one I can't remember exactly where it was. Crazy how it happens, but right after I signed off, there it was. I saw it. It's not exactly where I remembered seeing it. But I'll show you my photograph of this, and you tell me if it doesn't look like a person. You know, those creatures with the big bubbly head in the back. All right. My life is complete now. I found this.